Wait a minute. Hold up. That actually holds water.
Generic intro and the Doc Goes Moo here, back with another Game Theory Minecraft video. Today we're doing the tragic story of Minecraft zombie pigmen, which it says pigmen are your fault, so I'm not really sure what I did to cause zombie pigmen, but it's going to be an interesting theory. Nonetheless, you can check my reaction to the last one, which was about the lost history of Minecraft's Wither. I'll leave my reaction to that right up there, also link down below in the description, and hopefully at some point in the future I'll make a playlist for all of my Game Theory Minecraft videos, going in chronological order, just like I did with all the Five Nights at Freddy's videos. But I stream Minecraft every single Monday. I've been playing Minecraft since March 2011, I want to say, which people have said that's before like the hunger bar was added or something like that. So it's absolutely insane how long I've been playing Minecraft. Actually coming up on what is the 13th anniversary of whenever I played Minecraft for the very first time, and then I kind of consistently played it, and then I just stopped playing it, and then I started playing it again every single Monday and streaming it for Minecraft Monday as I'm building a giant mountain that should hopefully be getting close to finishing here in the very near future. I've been working on it for months, and then I'm also renovating Ancient City as well. That's also something I want to work on, or I want to do, because I've already claimed an Ancient City. But I'm looking forward to this video. I always love reading your comments. I read every single one of them, so leave them down below. Also, shout out to the patrons, because they get the videos a day early at 11 on a paywall channel. $3 a month gets you all my reaction videos a day early, and goes so far in supporting the channel. But let's go ahead and jump into the tragic story of Minecraft's zombie pigmen. Alright, let's see.
Tree punching.
You shouldn't do it.
And I have no doubt
That's
that
fair.
me teaching you how to punch down a tree like you do in Minecraft inspired tens of thousands of you
Did it
loyal
not?
viewers
Did
out
it
there to
actually?
try it for
No,
yourself.
no.
Mowing down saplings faster than an
Just saplings.
over-eager lumberjack. Which is why today, I want to start the episode by making amends. Theorists, it's time to stop the punching
Of trees.
and start the planting.
Team
My friend
trees?
Jimmy, you may have heard of him. He runs a channel called Mr. Beast, is a YouTuber that's looking to make a difference.
So we have
He's
our...
also from North Carolina.
He is, just like me.
From North Carolina.
Yes, they know that. Mr. Beast, alongside another friend
I got a
of
P.O.
mine,
box.
the incredibly smart Mark
He's not
Grover,
from North
are
Carolina.
currently working to raise $20 million.
They have music in the background, so I don't want this video to get copyright claimed afterwards, because they've done that before. But yes, no, Team Trees is
Hello,
awesome.
Internet. Welcome to Game Theory. Where, gotta be honest,
but
I'm
Team
still
Trees
icing my knuckles
awesome.
after last week.
Did he not-
Today, we're
did he break his
continuing our
hand?
deep dive exploration
It's very
into the
possible he could've
lost
broke his
lore
hand.
of Minecraft by looking at what is, in my opinion,
yeah,
the
sometimes
strangest part of
Matt
the
will
universe.
use music
The
that's copyrighted in the
zombie
background
pigmen.
for
And for me to call him
sponsor
out as
bits.
the strangest is saying a lot, considering this is also a world full of living snowmen and laser-shooting pufferfish. Maybe
That's
it wouldn't be
true.
so strange if this was a mob that was only a bipedal pig creature that lived in HE double toothpicks, but no, it has to be a zombified bipedal pig
Because
living
it's
in
there.
HE double toothpicks that also carries around a butter sword for reasons, and
And
also has no
I've never put butter on
non-zombified
anything.
versions
Fun
of
fact
itself
for you.
left anywhere on the planet. Now
Unless it
that
gets
is
struck
a
by
weird
lightning.
collection of attributes. And if we're being 100% honest, it's probably because their origins are pretty bizarre. Tall, human-like pigs have been kicking around as an unused idea in Minecraft since the very beginning. A Minecraft user first came up with the idea for pigmen way back in 2010, and the game's creator Notch almost used them as the game's villagers a year later. It didn't happen.
Wait,
And in
I was before
2012, Notch
villages?
revealed in the documentary Minecraft: The Story of Mojang that the game's signature creature, the Creeper,
Was actually supposed to be a pig.
born out of awkwardly
Oh.
tall pig monsters.
Well, I mean, the creepers were a mistake. I don't have any modeling programs to do the models, and I accidentally made them tall instead of log, so it was like a tall thing with 4 little feet. And that became
And-
the creeper. It was supposed to be a pig.
So if I were
The
to guess,
creeper was
the
supposed to be a
zombie
pig.
pigmen exist and are connected to creepers, villagers, and normal pigs purely because of a sequence of happy accidents, coding errors, and scrapped
That's a
ideas
weird-looking
that got
pig.
eventually made into canon. But that's the real story for why zombie
But
pigmen
what's the
are probably
theory?
in this game. What we're interested in is the fictional story. How can these creatures possibly fit into the shockingly deep and
So far, it's been
surprisingly
great. I've
cohesive
loved these
lore of
videos a
Minecraft
lot.
that we've been building over the last
They're
couple
less
episodes. How do
jumping
you
to
fit
conclusions
undead
than
pigs
Five
from
Nights at
each
Freddy's
double
was.
hockey sticks into a tale about an ancient civilization of long-lost builders? I gotta be honest,
Which,
this one
I
started
guess a
as
little
I
easier.
have no idea how we're gonna explain this, but by the
Minecraft's
end of my
more
research,
clear-cut
I've got
than
a pretty solid
Scott
case here,
makes
friends.
FNAF.
To start piecing together the lore of the
So,
zombie
Matt-
pigmen,
or,
we first have to look at their
Matt can
in-game
only do what he-
behavior
so
for
much.
clues. Now, obviously, these creatures are most commonly associated with the Nether, but they can, on very rare occasions, appear in the
Get
overworld.
struck by
When
lightning.
lightning strikes within 4 blocks of a pig, a zombie pigman will suddenly spawn. That
But they're neutral as
immediately
well.
tells us that these two creatures are in some way connected. That the Pigmen, at least at one point in their history, were related to normal, everyday pigs. We also know that the Pigmen share some form of psychic link.
Yeah, hive
now, that
mind.
might seem absurd to say, but their hostile behavior patterns confirm it. Attack one zombie Pigman,
and all of them around attack.
Somehow, all the others within a massive radius will become
I
aggressive.
used to be terrified of them.
Steve.
Like,
And
if you
it's
hit
not
them, it was like
because
a
they're
bad time.
hearing their attacked friend, since the sounds they make are relatively quiet. And everyone is still aggressive, even if that attack happens in a completely sealed off closed box that should deaden the sound to any outside listeners.
Yep,
The
and they're still
immediacy
upset.
and aggression of their
Yep.
attack can only mean that they're linked in some
Hive
way.
mind.
And lastly, it's also important to note that they don't begin as hostile. They only turn hostile when they
if you hit them,
attack.
not even
So under
accidentally.
normal circumstances, they technically have nothing against Steve. It's only once Steve
So they're
becomes
like
aggressive
pigs,
that they
just
suddenly
for the
have a
nether.
reason to defend themselves. This admittedly gives us a lot to work with,
Maybe
but
the
it's
people
still
that
just a
ran
bunch of
into the
loose
nether,
threads
like
without
my
something
theory.
to tie it all together. Any theory that
I
I
don't
would
know.
craft to try and explain it all would be missing that linchpin of evidence that anchors the
I
narrative.
said, the people that
This
went to
year's
the
Minecraft,
nether fortress.
the Mojang team's annual interactive live stream, all about
Minecon
the
doesn't go
Minecraft
on anymore, does it?
franchise,
I don't think it
complete
does.
with discussions about upcoming features, big world premiere announcements, and lots of other stuff.
This is going to look weird, but you can't hear. Hello.
Because you gotta juice that sweet, sweet watch time. And this
That's
year, between
wild.
gooey hands and whatever this was, we received a ton of new information about what changes are rolling out into the Minecraft world over the next couple of months. Bees, honey blocks.
Wait, bees were
target
added back
blocks,
then?
but
I still
all
have not
that
done
content,
anything
it
with
was the
bees in
changes
Minecraft.
coming in Minecraft 1.6, the Nether update that really caught my attention.
Oh, when they added the
Specifically, the new
piglins.
Piglin civilization. Zombie pigmen are no more. Piglins and zombie piglins are here to stay.
Piglin is actually
Wait, zombie
what we call
pigmen
the
still exist?
Pigmen now. The Piglin is almost like a new civilization that we add to the Nether.
But there was one detail about this mob in particular that caught my attention.
It
They
hunts
are actually hostile
pigs.
towards the player.
Or
They also
hogs.
don't like wither skeletons.
They don't like wither skeletons.
Why not?
It's an oddly specific detail for them to call out. From writing all of these episodes, I gotta say that so much of piecing together this game's story relies on picking apart spawn conditions and hostile behavioral patterns.
And
like in any
who
good story,
goes
those
against you
sorts of
and who can
details
use what
are telling you
items
the
and
relationships
colours
between
and
our
all
main
that.
characters, as it were. And so hearing Jeb call out the hostility
that's
towards
Jeb?
one
Okay.
particular mob
I like
really
her sheep.
stood out to me. Especially since, as we established during our episode on the Wither skeletons are most likely the remains of the ancient builder race. There are plenty of reasons
I
as
think
why,
some of them
but
ran
I'm
to
not
the
gonna
Nether.
rehash them here. You can just watch that video if you're interested. But for the piglins to act violently towards
Maybe
Wither skeletons, aka
the zombie pigmen are
ancient
pigs that they
builders,
brought to the
that
Nether
was
portal.
the last detail that I needed. There's hostility between these two groups. Something happened long ago between these two civilizations, and it hasn't been forgotten.
Wait, are zombie-
even long
zombie
after
pigmen
both
aren't gone?
civilizations have
Are they?
largely died off. So let's start putting all these pieces together, shall we? We know that the ancient
still
builders
exist.
started in the overworld, and at some point they created a nether portal and started to explore down there. We know this based on the chests and the fortresses that exist down in the nether that could really have only been built by them. Now, here is where the piglins come in. At some point, the builders brought their pigs with them into this hostile environment.
Yeah.
Again, we know this based on that lightning strike evidence. Pigs and zombie
there's the lightning
piglins
in
are
the nether.
connected, and yet there are no pigs in the nether, meaning that they
there's
must
hogs.
have started in the overworld.
And they brought
now,
him through.
There's two possible reasons for the builders.
Is he
to
gonna
do
talk
this.
about, like, the
first
destroyed,
one, simple food.
abandoned,
the nether, up
nether
until the
portal?
announcement of the new Piglin Beast mob, also coming with update 1.6, hasn't had a reliable source for food.
But it's also the food source in Nether, actually. So when you get your food, you can't just have like a pretty little farm. Instead,
can't
you
have
need
water.
to find this scary, aggressive piglin beast and get the food from there.
They
As
are
such, any
kinda
explorers
tough.
looking to make a long journey to explore and forage in the area would need to bring a dedicated food source, like say their stable of pigs. Bring them down to the nether, leave them there, and boom, you suddenly have pig-like creatures
no
in
lightning.
a place where they have no business being. Option 2 for why the pigs would be down there is honestly a bit darker, and it could very well explain the hostility that exists between these two groups. Consider for
Why?
a second if you had opened a portal to somewhere anywhere.
I would
Some
rather
other
not.
dimension you don't really know. Are you just gonna hop through? Of
Or are you gonna send a
course
pig
you're
through to
not.
test
You're gonna
it?
test it. Most likely you're gonna test it on some sort
Okay,
of
why'd they
animal.
do that with the
Believe it or
end?
not, but pigs are often the ones being used as human stand-ins for large-scale scientific experiments because of their similar organ size and decay rates. So, to see whether things on the other side of that portal were safe,
But how would they
maybe the ancient
know?
builders
Do
dropped
they leave
their
them
pigs
there?
on through, sacrificing a few of them in the name of science. Either way, pigs are brought to the Nether, and I don't know about you, but that would definitely give me a reason to hold a grudge against the people who brought me
they're
there,
neutral.
be they human or their undead wither skeleton forms. It also helps explain the wishy-washy aggressive feelings they have towards Steve. Zombie pigmen aren't aggressive towards Steve because he's not the one who
build.
brought them there. On the other hand, piglins are now aggressive towards Steve because, hey, he's a descendant of that ancient race of builders. So that explains how a pig-like species would get into this hostile supernatural environment and why they might be mad at the wither skeletons, but obviously
how would they
it's skipping
know?
over
I don't
a
know about
few
this one.
teeny tiny details that might also need to be explained, like how they became walking, sword-wielding psychic warrior zombies. That's a pretty big logical leap to make there, right? Yeah. But believe it or not, it's one
we have
that can be
answers?
completely explained via nether wart. Remember what I said about the nether not having much food? Well,
Okay,
that's gonna be
I'm
true for the
curious
animals
now.
down here too. I mean, really, what would a pig eat down there? Crops require
they've
water.
added stuff.
It's simply not possible to place water down in the nether. As such, the only thing that they're going to be able to eat down there is nether wart. But if that were truly what the
Which,
builders
if
were
Alan
feeding
Becker
their
is-
primary food source, you
taught
would
us
expect
anything.
them to harvest it, right? Well, wouldn't you know it? But if you look at the essential elements of a nether fortress, those places that were constructed by the ancient builders as their home away from home as they explored the hostile
Have nether
underworld,
wart
you
farms.
see bridges, a lava well room, and surprisingly, nether wart gardens. Gardens placed there to harvest the only crop that could be grown in such a hostile landscape. So we know that the builders were indeed harvesting the stuff, but
Were
then
they eating it,
why
though?
is nether wart so important here? Well, we also know that the Minecraft universe is one where you quite literally
are what you eat. Well, it depends on
In
the
our
timeline
Enderman
of
video,
things.
I linked the ancient builders being forced to eat the End's native crop of chorus fruit, with them
Yep.
slowly
And then they
obtaining
got
the plant's
taller,
teleportation
so they could
abilities.
reach
And though yes,
the
that
taller
was
fruits.
admittedly just speculation, we don't even have to go into the realm of theories to prove this one. Ladies and
Oh, is
gentlemen,
that
I
actually
present to
proven?
you the mushroom, a cow mushroom hybrid that only spawns in mushroom field biomes,
Which are
AKA
very rare.
places where cows are consuming a diet
Nothing but
primarily
mushrooms.
filled with mushrooms.
That
Their
is so
milk
true.
mushroom stew. Their bodies are covered with the stuff, but we know at their
They
core
look kinda
they
scary.
began as regular cows. Since when you shear them clean,
They turn
it
into normal
drops
cows.
its mushrooms and transforms back into.
Wouldn't
a
the
normal
mushrooms just take
bovine
over? But I
again.
guess that
So
would
if
be how
pigs
fungi
in
work.
The nether were indeed subsisting off a diet entirely made of nether wart. There's a likelihood we could see some of that plant's traits carry over into this animal. Now, here's the thing.
But
about
how does
nether
netherwort
Even though
turn a
I just
pig
called
into a
it
zombie
plant,
pig?
It looks and acts very much like a fungus. Netherwort grows through 4 stages, with the middle 2 stages looking nearly identical. It's a process that very closely resembles the life cycle of a typical mushroom. Netherwort is known as nether stalk in the code, just like many fungi are composed of the fruit body on top and the stalk underneath. It doesn't need sunlight to grow
didn't
and
realize
instead
this.
thrives in the warm, dark environment of the
Very
nether,
warm.
just like a real-world fungus. In fact, many
Doesn't
of the
not need
Minecraft
water, though.
wikis equate netherwort to the real-world puffball fungus, which, although different in color, does indeed match in terms of design and reproductive behavior. And all of this matters because a diet of netherwort would explain how the zombie pigmen all share a psychic connection.
Or maybe the pigs
You see,
died
when we think
and
of
the
a fungus,
fungi
we
took
immediately
over?
think of the mushroom that's on top, but in reality, most of a fungus's body is made up of super thin threads known
And
as mycelium.
that's how
And the crazy thing is that these threads can go for dozens upon dozens.
And that's
of
how they're
feet,
all
connecting up
connected?
with a bunch of other
And that's how the
plants
hive
and
mind
fungi.
works.
So much so that researchers are now calling this an underground internet of sorts, a literal
That's kinda
fungal
terrifying.
network that's sharing information across plants, root to root, extending
I feel like
for
he just took, like,
miles.
interstate
A,
maps.
wood wide web, if you will. Fungus expert Paul Stamets calls it
Fungi.
Earth's natural internet in a 2008 TED Talk. And that fungal connection could very easily carry over into our pigs. Just like we see with mushrooms, eating that
But they're
netherwort
zombies.
fungus could slowly
you can't shear
transform
them.
our overworld pigs into an interconnected network of pig-fungus hybrids. And that's not all. Fungal networks also boost their host plants' immune systems. Simply plugging into the mycelial network makes plants more resistant to diseases. Now, look
Really?
at the netherwort. It's the essential ingredient for awkward potions, the base for over 90% of the game's magical
Yeah,
abilities.
the other, what,
You know what else is a
mundane
key
potions
ingredient in
or
potions?
like
Glowstone dust, which is also found down in the nether. Potions, mind you, that bestow the drinker all sorts of magical properties,
Which are
from
awesome.
greater defenses to greater swiftness to, most importantly,
And they added more to
fire
them.
resistance. Fire
Most
resistance,
importantly, I never use
just
it.
like we see with the zombie piglins who are immune to fire and lava damage. In fact, this theory may even
Wait a minute.
explain why
Hold
we
up.
only
That
see
actually holds
zombified
water.
versions of the pigmen and not normal style pigmen, the new piglin race excluded. Obviously, the ancient race of builders came to the nether a long time ago. When their
time.
society collapsed, so did the coming and going from the overworld. As such, no new pigs were being brought into the nether, meaning that everyone we see down here has been down there for centuries at least. That, my friends, is some old rancid pork.
But does time
how can a pig survive
does time
for
work
that
differently in
long?
the
Again,
nether?
the netherwort's magical properties. One of its key uses is making potions of healing. It could be that the pigmen literally cannot die from natural causes.
Potion of healing
or just like the
is
wither
something like a golden
skeletons were
carrot.
brought back to life with the strange soul-saving properties that exist in the nether. Heck, this theory may even explain why they only carry gold swords. Look at the types of loot that spawn inside the nether fortress chests. The ones containing
stuff.
supplies brought into the nether by the ancient builders. The only weapons that we ever
gold
see
sword.
spawn in those chests are golden swords. That's it. That's what they brought in and stored in
And that would
those
explain why some of them are
chests. And since
enchanted,
these
I believe.
are pigs at heart with no crafting ability, all the items that you find in there, like iron ingots and diamonds, are completely useless to them. The only
Is the
thing
thing
that
that
they
are
can use to
finished
defend
products.
themselves is just what they found laying around in their natural environment. Left
Okay, is there gonna be a
behind by
theory
their
about the
former
gas?
masters, the ancient abandoned golden swords. So just look at all the questions this theory answers. It explains how pigs got into the nether, why they'd be hostile
does
to
make
wither
sense.
skeletons, and have complicated feelings towards us as a descendant
But here's the
of
thing.
builders. It explains
Is it
why we
gonna,
see
like,
netherwort
retell
purposely
time?
grown
Like,
in
is there
nether
gonna be a point
fortresses,
where
and
you,
how a
like, have
diet
new
of netherwort
characters,
could
like,
produce
become the
a
new
psychic
builders?
link of sorts between all the pigmen in the region. That netherwort, combined with the local
Or maybe it's
glowstone,
supposed to just be
'cause let's face
ruins.
it, pigs will eat, or at least try anything, could also explain their fire resistance, their zombification, and we even have ourselves an answer as to why they would all have golden butter swords and only golden butter swords.
That does
Honestly,
make
the only
sense.
question I can answer about this mob is why they stand on two legs. Not 100% sure. Could be evolution. Pigs learning to walk upright to use their hands to defend themselves in the violent nether.
Is
while
that
also
needed?
wanting fewer
Does it
body
need to
parts
attack
touching
them?
the hot nether rack? It's possible. But I do think that we're onto something with this theory. Something that I suspect Mojang might just want to be cluing us in on. Because if
Do
we
they?
go
Do we
back
still
to more
know?
of that
Not know?
Minecraft
I don't know.
footage, as they reveal the new biomes for the nether,
So that-
one
this
they
was
spend a
added
good amount of
2018?
time on is the nether.
How long a
world
break that I
forest. And what do
take?
they explicitly show us wandering around in there? The only mob, mind you, that they show us in this preview, a zombie pigman wandering through the woods, at home amongst the food and landscape that helped to make him what he is. He's a pig, ripped from his comfortable life in the overworld, and
I don't
brought
know about
down to
comfortable.
the depths of heck to be used for the slaughter of the ancient people, but through random chance and a whole lot of fungus, becoming the start to a rival civilization bound for greatness, and then turning
Pretty
into
cool.
zombies.
Yeah, it's
But
fine. It's
hey,
fine.
That's just a theory.
We'll haunt your dreams. That is
A
definitely
theory.
dream
Thanks
haunting.
For watching. Just a reminder to wave your diamond pickaxe
And-
over that subscribe button. We got more
Especially for
Minecraft
Team
theories
Trees.
on the way. Next time, hopefully,
Do not
about
punch
the
a
villagers
tree.
and illagers, though underwater fortresses are really interesting. to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
I'll see y'all for something different next week.
Very, very, very interesting. That, okay, I don't know about them being my fault, particularly. This is really interesting. Also, I like how both these videos have 11 million views. That's actually kind of cool to see. From 4 years ago, they still have the same amount of views. That's really awesome. I wonder if this is confirmed, if it's true. It might be. It does make a lot of sense. I don't know what else it could be, honestly. Like, I don't know what else could be the reason why there's pigs in the nether, you know? And the gold sword and the nether wart being the potions and the ability. I don't know. I really do not know. But this was certainly something. I wonder what the time has been. I wonder if this was ever planned, or maybe they just kind of like, hey, this is the story we're gonna go with. Did they like make the game and like halfway after adding mobs and stuff, they like brought in a story writer to be like, hey, make us lore? I don't know. But the next one's gonna be the murky history of Minecraft's underwater gods, which that's going to be something. That'll be out next week. Next Wednesday also should be like a 2-hour long Lythera video that comes out an hour after this video does on Lethal Company, which I've never seen gameplay of until that video. Recorded last night. It's just a crazy video. It was insane. So definitely should watch that one. That video come out an hour after this one. Shout out to the patrons. They get the videos there early. I look forward to reading your comments. But until next video, take care and keep the music.